Hello everyone, I'm Santiago, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to stream your higher-end PC to your Steam Deck and your ROG Ally, so you can play basically on higher settings and have way better battery life as long as you're at home, but I'll also show you how to do it over the internet if you're outside of your house. So let's get started right away. So first, on your main computer that you're going to actually play the games on, you need one software, Sunshine, in order to host a session. So go into GitHub, link in the description, releases, go to the bottom and choose whichever you're using. In my case, I'm using Windows. All right, it's downloaded. Here, click on more info, run anyway. Next, you agree, yeah. Create a shortcut, it will make things a lot easier, at least in my opinion. And yeah, you want to install everything. Okay, and once you install it, you'll have the documentation. Let's ignore that for now. It's also going to install Net Framework, I think. Oh no, this is for the controller. Okay, so it will install this so you can have a virtual controller to actually play the games. Once that's done, just close everything. You should have a desktop shortcut. In my case, I don't have any for some reason, so click on the left and choose Sunshine on recently added. And it'll say, yeah, your connection is not private, whatever, doesn't matter. Go to advanced, proceed to localhost. And basically now you have the UI to configure your main computer. So we're going to make a username, in my case, Santi, password, whatever you want. Just do not forget this password, log in. Okay, success. Now it's going to ask you for the credentials. So in my case, Santi. And this is basically, the configuration. So go into configuration first. And here, depending on what your computer is, you're going to use different things. You have the NVIDIA encoder for NVIDIA cards, Intel QuickSync, or AMD's AMF. So in my case, I have an NVIDIA card. We're going to use that. NVIDIA card on your main computer. So it doesn't matter if you have a Steam Deck or ROG Ally. If your main computer is NVIDIA, choose this one. You can choose for the computer to think that you have a 360 controller. You probably want this, unless you have a PS4 controller or something. Audio and video, this is super important. So here you have the resolutions that you can actually use. You can add or remove it. We have 1080p, which will be the ROG Ally's screen. We don't have 800p, but on the Steam Deck we're going to super sample. But if you for some reason wanted 800p, which is understandable, 1280 by 800, and add that resolution, now you can actually use it. And you can also choose the frame rate. If you have a Steam Deck LCD, 60 FPS, if you have an OLED, 90, and if you have a ROG Ally, 120. You can put 240 if you want to. Hit on save. It's going to apply and restart Sunshine. Then on network, you probably want to enable UPnP. I keep it on default for now. You'll open the protocols, the TCP ports by its own. And here, if you know what you're doing, you can actually do other things. Probably, yeah, let's use this so we can use the internet. Config files, yeah, here there's nothing I wanted to do. Advanced, you can choose how it's streamed over your network. In this case, you can choose to only have H.265, which is a very good looking one, but keeping it like this is fine. You can also use AV1, which looks amazing, and you can force an encoder. In this case, since I have an NVIDIA card, I'm going to force the NVIDIA encoder. Then on the NVIDIA encoder, this is very important. If you have on QuickSync or AFMF, same thing. Here you want to choose the performance preset. This is for how much visuals or latency you want. Let's keep it on P1. This will be the fastest. 2-pass mode, maybe disable it, but you have more pixelation. I'm going to keep it on quarter resolution, the 2-pass mode. This doesn't matter. And there's a lot of options over here that you can use if you want to. After restarting Sunshine, you should be now ready to go. Of course, if you have an Intel card on an AMD card, this will be a little bit different, but let's keep it like this. Before jumping onto your Steam Deck on ROG Ally, make sure to go to this tab, the Pin tab. This is super important. And leave it here, grab your Steam Deck or ROG Ally, and be ready. We're now on the Steam Deck, hit the Steam button, go to Power, switch to Desktop. Once in Desktop mode, open the Discover Store to download software basically, and search for Moonlight. This is the application that we need. And here also have Sunshine, but this is for the main computer, ignore it over here. Hit install. Okay, it's installed, that was fast. Select launch, and it's going to open Moonlight for the first time. And it's going to search for computers. If you are on, you need to be on the same network as your computer. This is my main PC, this is my other PC. As you can see, it detected them automatically. If it doesn't, go through your Wi-Fi connection, make sure your PC and your Steam Deck are on the same network. If they are, I recommend you go to the Moonlight GitHub and ask questions, because maybe there's an issue on their end, who knows. Okay, so once Moonlight is installed, restart your Steam Deck and go back into desktop mode. I'll skip ahead. After restarting your Steam Deck, open Steam, usually down here into library, bottom left corner, add a game, add a non-Steam game, and here scroll down until you find Moonlight. Here it is. Add selected programs. Now you should see Moonlight here as a non-Steam game. So now all we gotta do is go back into gaming mode. Back into gaming mode, press the Steam button once again, library, go here into non-Steam, and you should be able to find Moonlight. So you open it up, you hit play. Although before hitting play, go into manage, properties, and in here, game resolution, choose 1920 by 1200. This is for super sampling, and check this box. Set resolution for internal and external display. Once you do so, launch it. And this is a Linux application, so we don't need to use Proton. Let me hide the FPS counter. That's funny. Okay, so we are here. My advice, first of all, is to hit the Steam button in controller settings. Make sure to have basically your right trackpad as a mouse, the rest as a controller. You can see the layout over here. Everything as a controller, but in the trackpad as a mouse, the right one, and the left mouse click to be clicking the right trackpad. That should give you full control over your computer. So now, top right corner to this cog, resolution and FPS. In this case, since we selected 1200p because we're super sampling, is like that, 1200p. Otherwise, you can put over here a custom resolution and put 1280 by 800 if you want to use the native resolution, but I recommend using super sampling. So we keep it like this. You can choose between 30 and 60. If you have an OLED Steam Deck, it will also have a 90 frames option. If it doesn't, go into custom and write 90. If you have a ROG Ally, 120. In this case, we have a 60 Hz screen. Bitrate, this heavily depends on your internet connection locally. In my case, I have a Gigabyte, so I can actually put it at 100 if I wanted to. I think it's a little bit overkill, so I'm going to keep it at maybe 40. It actually looks pretty good on the smaller screen. Then if you're not playing games, check this box. VSync, we enable it. Frame pacing, maybe, maybe turn this off. It has VSync by default on SteamOS. Then scroll down a little using your finger and check this box. And here in video decoder, this is super important. Choose force hardware decoding, beta codec. H.264 will look the worst, but it needs higher bit rates to look good, but the latency should be the lowest. H.265 supports HDR, so I recommend you use this for the Steam Deck OLED. And AV1 looks pretty good as well. It's a tiny bit better than H.265, so my advice is H.265. If you have an OLED deck, enable HDR. Here to automatically find PCs, whatever, yeah, sure. Once that's ready, you can stream. So go back and choose your computer. Once you choose your computer, it's going to ask for a password. So hit this with your finger, and it'll say, okay, enter this pin on your host PC. So now we have to jump into the host PC. We need to enter the code 2675. Yours will be different, so write it down. And let's jump into the main computer once again. All right, back into the main PC. As you can remember, our pin was 2675. So here we hit 2675, hit send. And that will allow us to now access our computer from our Steam Deck. So let's get back into the Steam Deck. All right, so now on the Steam Deck, we hit the computer we just paired. We open desktop. And you're going to get into your computer. As you can see, this is my PC. We have the trackpad to move the mouse. And if we open Chrome, we were here a second ago. So first order of business, go into display settings and choose 1200p, 1920 by 1200, 150% scale so you can actually see what's going on the desktop. And now it's just time to play some games. As you can see on the battery side, let me zoom in a little. We are at 90% battery and we got 5 hours of battery, so perfection. And if I zoom out and I move this around, this is the main computer, that's the Steam Deck, and we're on the same network. So we can actually go somewhere else on the house where we got Wi-Fi and do the same thing. So let me show you the latency by pointing the camera a little bit away from me. So what you're seeing now is Cyberpunk 2077 with 1920 by 1200 resolution, quality DLSS, and path tracing enabled. So I'm playing on my main computer. But actually I'm remotely playing this on Steam Deck. Looks amazing. I mean, it's like playing native. If you look there, there's a tiny bit of latency, but I can shoot just fine. On the PC I'm running it at 85 FPS. I have a 47 Ti. But if you have a less powerful computer, you can always do 1280 by 800. But as you can see, yeah, in the background we got there. And the battery life, it says 4 hours. And it works just fine. If you have a 90 Hz Steam Deck OLED, you can play at 90 Hz if your computer actually supports it. But what you need to make sure is that your computer is connected to the same network and that you have 5 GHz Wi-Fi. Otherwise you need to use a lower bitrate. I'm using 50 megabits per second, which is a little bit overkill for H.265, but hey, it works. And make sure you have a good Wi-Fi range to play this, maybe, I don't know, in the room next to your computer, and that your computer is connected with a cable, basically. But in game, getting 80 to 90 FPS, the Steam Deck says 4 hours of battery, and it looks great. So you got a lot of battery life and path-traced Cyberpunk. If your PC can support it, you can play basically anything you want. And it feels like it was playing natively on Steam Deck. It's at super sample 1200p, so let's now show you how to do this over the internet. Alright, so if you want to stream over the internet, make sure you made all the previous steps that I showed you. Go into the Moonlight website, go into host downloads and choose internet hosting tool. Again, on your host computer, Make sure that UPnP on Sunshine was enabled. So now we got this downloaded, let's install it. Yes, I agree. Okay, it's completed. So now open your start menu. You'll have Moonlight Internet Streaming Tester, so hit that. And I was going to say the Moonlight Internet Hosting Tool is not designed for use with Sunshine. It still works, don't worry. Make sure the UPnP option is enabled. Test results will be inaccurate if the port option in Sunshine has been adjusted. So make sure to do that, hit OK. It's going to test your network. Alright, so if everything went correctly, you have this message. And in this message, you will see your public IP address. Please do not share this IP address with anybody because they can get into your computer with this. So write it down. In my case, again, I'm not going to show it because, yeah, it's a security risk. So copy that, write it down and make sure you have it on site. So hit OK. And now you're basically ready. Let's go to your Steam Deck or ROG Ally and do that. We're now back on the Steam Deck. So now go to this icon at the top right corner. And you need to enter the IP address you wrote down. So I'm going to type mine. 1 second. Alright, so once you type that down, hit OK. And if there is any issue, the program is going to tell you. But we're basically ready. Now you can enter your computer from basically anywhere. Just make sure you're not streaming your computer using LTE or 5G. It has a lot of latency. So my advice is that you connect, I don't know, you're at work, connect to your Wi-Fi connection, make sure it's a strong signal. And depending on your internet speed, change the bitrate. Maybe if you're doing it over the internet, keep it at 20 megabits per second. Make sure, again, H.265 for the best quality at lower bit rates, and you should be good to go. That's basically it. Now you can play your computer from anywhere. Again, make sure you're connected to Wi-Fi, that your PC is connected with a cable, and you should be good to go. And yeah, that's basically it. Again, if you have a ROG Ally or an OLED Steam Deck, you can choose different resolutions. On the ROG Ally, it will be 1080p. On the Steam Deck OLED, you can select 1200p and 120 FPS on the Ally or 90 FPS on the Steam Deck OLED. And you also have HDR support if your monitor supports it. In the case of the Steam Deck OLED, it does, so you can actually do it. Yeah, that's basically how to do it over the internet. So my thoughts on the matter are that it's basically the best way to stream your computer to your other portable devices. It also works on mobile, so you can do it on your iPhone, your Android device. It's very flexible, and it's the same method. It's just downloading Moonlight, and once your PC is set up, just put your PIN and you're good to go. You can also, again, do it over the internet. I tried it using 5G. It was very, very laggy. Not laggy, it was a lot of latency. So if you're using Wi-Fi, it works perfectly fine. I can actually play my PC games from my main computer on the Steam Deck for like 5 hours because you're actually just streaming a video. Same with the ROG Ally. You can put it on silent mode, open Moonlight, you get like 4 or 5 hours of battery. It's crazy efficient. You just need a stable Wi-Fi connection, if possible a 5 GHz router, so you can get a good amount of data through your connection. And over the internet it worked well when I was connected to another Wi-Fi. For example, I was waiting for the doctor's appointment in the hospital and they had free Wi-Fi. I connected to the free Wi-Fi, yeah, I know, very unsafe. But I was able to stream my computer to my Steam Deck, and I was playing ray-traced Cyberpunk at 6 FPS portably on the go, as long as you have an internet connection, and very long battery life, basically no noise, very little latency, especially when doing it locally. And in my opinion, it has way better image quality and latency in comparison to the Steam solution. That basically is much easier to set up. You just have your computer turned on Steam, You open your Steam Deck and select stream, and it basically does the job for you. But I think again, this is the one that has the best quality, the most features, the most customizable user experience, and you can actually do whatever you want. There's no restrictions. Just make sure to not share your IP address with anybody because, well, they'll have full access to your computer and that's not safe. So yeah guys, my advice, just do the effort to do it once and it will be ready and you have awesome visual fidelity, awesome low latency, and long battery life. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you found this video useful, subscribe, hit the bell, hit like, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye guys, thanks for watching.